Hey, my friends, I'm glad that you joined me today. We are live and we are going to talk uh, about renovating your home and how to do that without raising your monthly payment. So there is ways to do that. This is a question that's come up and I've helped some people do that. And I'm going to show you with some examples here. In fact, you know what? Maybe I'm just going to, maybe I'm just going to jump right into that and just show you some, I'll just show you some examples real quick. Um, But oh yeah, but if you have some questions while we're going along, if you're listening to this live, just drop the your questions in the chat box, and we'll get those answered for you. So I'm going to share my screen, and I don't know if you're looking at this on a phone. I apologize because it's going to be really tiny. But what this shows you is that we can show you an analysis and show you what your current situation looks like right now. And then we can show you some comparisons of what you will have in the future. And in this particular one, you may not be able to see that, but they bought their house for 350,000 and they had it for about 3 or 4 years. Their current loan amount, they owed about 235,000, and their monthly payment was $1,157 a month. That does not include the taxes and insurance. And I did not put the taxes and insurance in there simply because it's going to be the same whether you refinance or not. So, what they wanted to do was they wanted to renovate. They wanted to do some work on their house. And so they were unsure as to how much work they wanted to do. So we showed them an analysis with a $40,000 cash out, one with $85,000 cash out, and one with about $120,000 cash out. And so you can see, and it becomes really clear that which is the best option. And the reason why we did such a variance is because they didn't know if they just wanted to add a room, or if they just wanted to just do like carpet and paint, or if they wanted to do something more extensive, which is the 120,000. So they currently had an interest rate of 3.75%, which really isn't bad. You know, it's not a terrible rate at all. 3.75%. They were on a 30-year loan. And so what we looked at is the middle option, which is the third option over, because the first option is what they currently have. And I don't know if you can see this, but we showed them an option of $40,000 cash out, took them from a 3.75 to a 2.75 rate. And it actually lowered their payment by $14. So they got $40,000 cash out to do some renovation and basically kept the payment the same. Now, if they wanted to do something more extensive, such as adding on a room or remodeling their kitchen. So we showed them an option with $85,000 cash out, and that raised their payment by $169. And then we showed them an option with $120,000 cash out, which is the last option on the right. And that lowered their that raised their payment by $300 a month. So is it possible to renovate your home without raising your payment? Yes. It just depends on how extensive of a renovation you want to get involved in. So carpet and paint and, maybe renovating your bathroom or something, especially if you're doing a lot of the work yourself, you can do this without raising your payment at all. So really, that's why we want to help you do an analysis. So if you just call us, we can run this analysis for you and show you your situation with what you currently have, with multiple options of whether you want to refinance or whether you want to do some renovations, which was what this example is. We showed some cash out with some renovations, one with lowering the payment and one with raising the payment slightly because they wanted more cash out. So call us and let's get this analysis ran for you. Or you know what, if you just want to refinance and lower your payment, we can also run this analysis for you, and it makes it really clear whether it's the right thing to do or whether it's not the right thing to do. And if it's not the right thing to do, we're really transparent. So, and it's really easy to see that. So an analysis is free, doesn't cost you anything. But yeah, call us and let us do that for you. So with that, I am going to invite Sydney on and see if there have been any questions that have been asked. And if you're on this watching, post your questions in the chat box and I'll answer those for you. Sydney, come on on. Oh, there she is.
Hi. So our first question is, are there extra fees or closing costs when refinancing?
So I don't know what you mean by extra fees. So are there fees when you're refinancing? Then yes, it's just like getting a mortgage. We still have to run a credit report. We still have a title work. We still have some of the things just like getting a mortgage. Now, it's possible that you won't have an appraisal fee because the appraisal, it's possible to get what's called an appraisal waiver, which means we don't even have to do an appraisal on your house. So that's possible. So the only way we know whether we're going to get an appraisal waiver is to send it in. Well, actually, we just do what's called an automated underwriting. Once we have the underwrite in our hands, it'll tell us whether we have an appraisal waiver. And so if we have that waiver, then you don't get charged for an appraisal fee. But other than that, there are still costs. But what I did is on this analysis, I accounted for all those costs. So we still had on here, we still had the $40,000 cash out, $85,000 cash out, $120,000 cash out. And I already accounted for all the costs. So hopefully that answers that question. What else, Sydney?
So the next question is, will a refinance affect my credit score?
Well, probably, because there's when you pull a credit report, we have to get a credit report when we refinance. And pulling a credit report, there's two ways to do that. One is called a soft pull and one is called a hard pull. So when you go look at your own credit, then it's called a soft pull and it doesn't affect your credit. But when a creditor, lender, mortgage, car, credit card, then when they look at it, that's called a hard inquiry and it affects your credit. But we're only talking like 3 or 4 points. It's pretty minimal. So unless you're right on the cusp of getting a loan or not, it's probably not going to make really any difference on getting an approval. So call us and let's talk about it. Do we have any other questions, Sydney?
Yeah, we have one more question here. The last question is, can I refinance if my credit score has gone down since I purchased my home?
Well, that question is it depends. It depends on how much your credit score has gone down. So if you had a 780 credit score and it went down to 700, not a big deal. If you had a 620 credit score and it went down to 550, much bigger deal. So it really depends on where your credit score is right now. So will it affect you? Maybe, but the answer is what is your credit score now? And just call me and we'll talk about it. And if we need to run a credit report, we can run a credit report and see what options are, and we'll run the analysis. And we'll just run the analysis for you. And I think Sydney, I can see her off screen. It looks like there's no more questions right now. So if you have questions about home financing, whether you want to renovate, whether you want to refinance, whether you want to purchase, call us. We can run this analysis for you in any situation. And it really is really a nice thing to have. So call us, get your analysis, and call. Oh, you know what? Our phone number. I'm gonna end the share screen if I can figure out how to do it. Stop sharing. Oh, there we go. So I don't know, Sydney. Oh, yeah. There it is. There's the phone number's right across the screen right there. It's 801-628-7667. Call me and let's talk about your options. Other than that, have a good day, and we'll see you next week on live at 5. See you later.